Good morning, YouTube. It's Monday. Welcome back to the farm. Farm's down there. Seed warehouse here. I had a customer call me a little bit ago. He's got 60-some bushel of wheat. He wants me to treat for him for seed. So I'm going to do that here in just a few minutes. Getting some chemical mixed up, getting everything ready. I'm going to sweep the floor up a little bit. We've got a bunch of piles of kernels of wheat all over the place. Just clean up a little bit. So we have a beautiful day. And we are going to have a beautiful week of weather. So it's a little chilly in the mornings, but it's supposed to be in the 70s almost every, nope, that ain't gonna work. Almost every day this week. Sunny and just great. So the ground is still super wet from the 4+ inches of rain that we had last week. Wednesday, Thursday, whenever that was. So we're gonna go check things out here when I get done treating this wheat. We're gonna go drive around, look at a few fields. I think the current plan is maybe to shell some corn today and tomorrow and hopefully get back into beans on Wednesday and let that ground firm up a little bit. So where we want to go and harvest beans next are all fields that we want to plant wheat in. So the last thing that we want to do is go out there and harvest when the ground conditions are super wet and track it all up and cut ruts and make a muddy mess. That's not a good way to have a good seed bed to plant our wheat into. So we'll shell corn, let it dry up a little bit more. That's the plan. Treating. 1.5 boxes is all we had here, so went pretty quick. This is the last half box. When we're done, we'll get him put back in his wagon and get him out of here. All right, well, that wheat is treated, and walked through the plots with that customer a little bit. He hadn't been around to see them yet, so that is done and went well. Let's go check some fields. I'm gonna jump in the gator real quick. We're gonna go look at a few cornfields. Well, let's walk out here. Ooh, it's quite soft. Nope, this is a no-go. Needs a couple days yet, probably. The lane is firm. Right behind the farm here, but that field is too muddy. That one's going to be the same. Let's go find one of them fields we had some cover crops in and we didn't actually do any tillage in the spring. Well, this field is quite a bit firmer. It's still wet on top. We're going to track it up a little bit, but I think we could get across it all right. I am a little concerned about this corn because look at all those tops broken off. The stalks don't seem too bad, but heck, look at that. The ground's so soft there that the whole thing just kind of blows over. So I think we should come here. This corn makes me nervous. Oh, look at this. Our cover crop is growing. Oh, it looks so good. This is our oats and radish cover crop. You can see it really good in this nice black soil here. But these are the radishes, these are the oats. Cool. Hopefully it gets some decent growth on it before we get a frost and it dies. This week it'll grow a lot because we're gonna have nice, warm, sunny weather. So awesome, that looks good. I wanted to come out and talk to Dad. He's sawmilling. All right, we are gonna go and try it. Do some corn today. So we're gonna switch the combine back over from beans to corn. Doesn't take a lot, a few little changes. Most of it's from the cab, but we'll get that done here real quick. It's warming up. All right, Brock's here, so I'll let him finish filling up the combine, and the windows need washed, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go get the corn head pulled out around so we can get that hooked up. Phil's getting trucks out and ready, hooked up. All right, well, corn head is hooked up. The windows are semi-washed. Let's go shell some corn. All right, well, we're doing it here. Let's get started and opened up. I'm having trouble adjusting the concave clearance. It doesn't want to move. 32 is a little wide. It's within the range for corn, but I like to run it closer to 25 than 35. So I'm gonna make a round here to get some room to get the cart off the road, which I'm sure he's coming real quick. And then we'll have to get out and take a look at it, see if we got something in the way, or maybe just running some corn through it will make it move. I don't know. Okay, well, I stopped when I unloaded there, and we got it to move down to the 25. I just cleaned out around the motor a little bit, But then when I tried it again to get it to move some more, it wouldn't go. So I don't know if there's an electrical problem there or a connection issue, something maybe, I don't know, but it's set where I need it for right now. I'll try it again in a little bit if I need to adjust it some more. That might be a problem if that's not going to move though, because that's how you adjust the gap between the concave and the threshing elements on the rotor, and it's different for corn and beans, so we've got to be able to move it. While I'm doing some end rows, I thought I'd be able to make a round back to where Brock's sitting down there. I was wrong, because there's some good corn right here. Wow, look at those numbers. Aha, those are end rows. What is it out there? Holy cow, this is gonna be fun here, guys. It's not all this good. So this field's got all kinds of trials in it. We've got some of our foliar feed products. We've got some of it got sprayed with early fungicide. Some of it got sprayed with a late fungicide. Some of it got both of those. We've also got that nitrogen strip trial going on out here. All kinds of stuff. So this will be interesting. Okay, well, we've still got some end rows to do. I got almost 10 acres done already. You can see the shape of this field is, it's all over. This square and this one here are what I intend to do today. We may work some of these long rows off if we get to it, but we did the ends over here along the road. That's where I was showing you from earlier, the really good corn. I did a little bit of these ends in the back. There's another round to do there, and I need to do one more round of these long rows, and then we can just work back and forth here. So just trying to get stuff opened up yet. I don't think Phil is going to be able to keep up hauling just him, so we might have to, we're probably going to park the grain cart at the end of the field where I can make rounds in these shorter rows right in here, and then Brock and Phil can both run trucks, and I can just make rounds and dump into the cart at the end of the field. So that's the plan here. I don't know, we'll see how things go. This corn does not look near as good as that corn. You can see a huge color difference just from here, and yes, the rows are running the other way, but this area did not get sprayed with the fungicide. That stuff did, and I think it's making a massive difference in the late season plant health right now, and I think it's going to show up in the yield column as well, because this isn't that great right here. I mean, there may be 100 bushel difference by the time we get over there. I don't know, we'll see. All right, well, we've got a grain cart about full after I unload here. Phil just came on the radio, said he's having some trouble with the dryer. The metering rolls aren't wanting to turn. The chain was jumping. So we're gonna take the pickup that he brought up here back to the farm, go get that figured out, and get the second truck. All right, well, I didn't catch any of it on camera, but Phil had the dryer running when we got there, and then we went out to look at it, and it had tripped off the high temp limit. Plenum temperature switch had gone off, so I'm not sure what that was all about or why, but we got it adjusted. There's a valve that we can use to kind of adjust the temperature of the air, or how much gas it's giving it to keep it from overshooting what it's supposed to. So anyway, dryer's running, good to go. I'm taking a truck back up to the field. Brock is going to learn how to run semi with Phil. Brock, I think, knows how to run a semi, but there's just a few little things that he needs to learn before we just turn him loose. So Phil's gonna help him out with that. Something's would appear that I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means, oh man. Man, I tell you what, it is a good thing we're not trying to get a lot of acres done today, because we're having issues. You see that? Do you see it right there? My grain cart operator. Well, I think he didn't have the throttle up all the way on the tractor, and he opened the gate up all the way, and the tractor does not have enough power to unload that grain cart at half throttle. So it kind of sort of plugged it up, slugged it, whatever. We had to shut the gate, disconnect the horizontal auger, the auger that runs from the back to the front, clean out the vertical unload, and re-engage it and clean out the horizontal unload, and it's fine. But we spilled some corn, so I'll have to clean that up. I'm still having trouble with my concave. I did manage to get it to move. I think it's the motor, the little tiny electric motor that turns that, because if I go out there with a wrench and help it get started, then it'll go. So I closed it up to 22 because I'm having too much rotor loss, separating loss that I don't like. So we're gonna try that, see if it makes it any better. We'll get there. Oh look, it's that row I lost earlier. This is what happens when you count wrong. I believe we've settled on row of shame, is what we call this. Yeah, we'll get it out of here as quick as possible so I don't have to look at it. All right, well, we're making a little bit of progress here. We got almost 25 acres done in this field. Our dryer is still having issues, I guess. The high limit keeps kicking it out, the plenum temperature, but I talked to somebody, the guy we bought the dryer from, and he said that the temperature control module and the high limit should read the exact same because they have the same sensors and the same cable. And so he thinks maybe that cable went bad or there's a loose connection or something in there. So I'm gonna run back and check it just because I talked to him and I know where everything's at, or can find it a little bit easier than trying to communicate it to somebody else. But we got to get that dryer moving because this corner's not super wet. In fact, right here it's pretty darn dry at 17. But we still need it to be working. So it's not great corn here. 160. Not great. Fungicides paid big time. These two are supposed to read the same. They weren't, so I adjusted them or checked some connections and stuff. I think we should be good. We'll fire it back up and see. Okay. So that dryer controller panel there has those two temperature readouts. One of them is the temperature control. That is how you set the drying temperature, the air temperature. We have it set at 200 degrees. The other one, the top one there, is the high limit control. So it's a safety thing that if the plenum temperature gets too hot, it'll shut the dryer down so it doesn't start on fire. That's a good thing. There is one thermocouple cable that there's basically two leads of wires in there. There's two red wires, two white wires, and it's a special type of a cable that is used for temperature stuff like that. I don't know. It's a type J thermocouple. What it is. Anyway, those two readouts should always be the same. When I just showed it to you there, it was the same. But earlier, when it had been kicking out, the high limit one was reading 20, 30 degrees higher than the temperature controller one. And so when I talked to the guy from the dryer that we bought it from, he said that it could be that the wires were getting loose connections and they needed tightened up or dirty or something. So I tried that and cleaned them all up. I don't really think that did anything, but maybe. Or that thermocouple wire cable could be going bad. So we had the high limit set at 230 degrees. We moved it back up to 250, which is the default. So that's there. Maybe that'll give us enough of a buffer that it won't kick off if it goes funky again, I guess. And we'll see if it keeps going. If that doesn't work, we can actually pull the two on the high limit switch out, run jumpers from the temperature control up to that one. But I don't really want to do that if I don't have to. We can get a new thermocouple cable if we keep having trouble or they keep showing different numbers, and we'll just replace it when we get a chance. But we know how to make it work for right now. So one of the issues that we kind of run into when the tops start breaking out of the corn, this stuff is standing pretty well from the standpoint of it's not down so bad I can't pick it up. The stalks are not broken below the ear. What you're seeing is the tops are leaning over. See how they're laying across the rows, but it's way up high. I can still harvest everything when it's like that. It's fine. We're catching all the grain. The problem is, look how much trash is going into the corn head. The stalks are brittle, and so when the ears are snapping off, they're breaking off the top of the stalks, and all that material is going through the combine, and it reduces our efficiency. You got to run so much more material through. It's better when all of that stuff passes right down through the snapping rolls and just ends up down there on the ground instead of running through the combine. Really, ideally, all we want to run through is the ears. So it's good that we're getting this because that means the rest of the stalks are going to be sort of brittle and right behind it. But yeah, minor inconvenience. It's okay. Brock's back in the tractor, doing a little unloading on the go. We had to stop and work on that dryer, so the trucking got caught back up, so he's in there. I'm not crazy about unloading on the go with wet ground conditions like we've got right now. The tracks on the cart certainly help, but unnecessary passes through the field add up to compaction. We are going to rip this field with the disc ripper though. Over there in the long rows that run the other way, we did some tiling last year. All of those tile lines have settled. I'll show you that later when we're bouncing over them. It's not fun. But so we'll run the ripper through it to try and level that out and smooth it out so we don't have those tile lines that have settled in there for another year. So that'll be nice. Anyway, yeah, we're finally making a little progress here. Some of this is decent, some of it is not. Our average is still around 170, but it's being drug up pretty significantly from the end rows and the little bit that we did in the long rows over there where we sprayed the fungicide. In fact, you can kind of see it on my map. See, we're up here in this reds and oranges and yellows, and the little bit we did over there was almost all green. Totally different corn over there. Looks a little rough down there, like it got rutted up. Oh yeah, I remember that spot when I was planting corn this spring. It was a little muddy here when I planted this. You know, it's been a bit of a frustrating day with the dryer troubles and with the concave not wanting to adjust like I want it to. My grain cart operator. Can you guys see the corn up there? We had more mishaps than just the slug in the auger one, but that's okay. But you know what hasn't been the problem today? The combine is not surging at all. It's as close as I got to wood, but man, combine's running pretty well actually. That's good. We're cruising right along 5.5 miles an hour, and I mean, it's not great corn here, but it's dry. And we're almost done with this section. We're gonna go do that one over there next. The good corn's over there. I know it's there. We've got dust hanging in the air. I saw a neighbor combining beans back over there. They've got some dust flying. I see some Facebook posts of some other neighbors that are out. We have remarkably dry corn. 16.5, I've seen some 15.7s. Ah, man. It's not all that good. It's quite variable, but this is kind of fun. The dryer's going to push that through real fast. Probably doesn't even need to go through the dryer, but we're averaging, what are we averaging? 20, 21 for the field, something like that. So we're gonna put it in the dryer, and it'll just go through fast, which is fine. My plan was to shell corn again tomorrow. I think that's still the plan, and let the ground conditions get better, but it has firmed up tremendously today just in the field that we're in, although I do see a little bit of tracks down there from the grain cart, so that'll probably be what happens. Then we'll get into beans in a couple of days, Wednesday, something like that, maybe tomorrow afternoon, I don't know. Yeah, this is good. Dry corn is fun. This electric wire makes me a little nervous there. There can't be a foot of clearance. But we haven't hit it yet. I did have to warn Brock not to unfold his unloading auger on the grain cart underneath it, because I'm pretty sure he would hit it if it was folded just right. Yep. All right, well, we've got our two little fingers done there, so it is, what time is it? 7 o'clock. We're gonna work off some of this stuff over here, some of this much better corn, try and get up to that waterway, maybe that little yellow strip there is a waterway. And we'll see how it goes. So I drive to the back of the field. We're gonna go down there a little ways, maybe right where that waterway is. Let's do that. And we're gonna punch a hole.
You wanna jump off the south road then?
Phil's talking to Brock. We're in the middle of this field. We've got. Yes, Phil, bring that truck to South Road. Tile lights, you feel them? Right there. Yeah, bouncing over them. But there's that. There's that. This corn's gonna be phenomenal out here. Okay, so when we got done with those two pieces over there, plus these end rows, our average was at 170. Mark that down. We're already up to 171. Okay. Well, yep. It still says 300, guys. Wow. I should have entered this one into the corn growers contest. What was I thinking? I had no idea. Maybe the other one's just as good. Well, that round averaged about 250. That's good. That's real good. Look at how much healthier and better looking the plants and the stalker integrity is here versus what we were doing over there earlier today. This is the same hybrid planted at the exact same time. Everything is the same except for this got 2 shots of fungicide. It got the V5 and a tassel fungicide, and the color of it, the tops being broken right here, there's a little bit, but for the most part, this is standing way better. It's in much better shape, and the yield is way better. Like, that's unbelievable. It is about that time. There's oh, you can't see it now. There's a big fire over there. I'm waiting for Brock to get a call to have to go to it. See all that black smoke on the other side of the grain cart pile? Yeah. Oh well. I'm hoping to finish between here and where we've got over there. Basically, this little patch over here tonight yet. We'll see if we make it. When your grain tank is full and your cart's on its way, you just go real slow. If you go slow, it doesn't overflow. You guys know that, right? That's the rule. And we've got tile lines to bounce over, so you can't go real fast. So, yeah. You can see them bouncing. Well, this is still really good corn. Not quite as good as some of it was. Running in the low to mid 200s, which is awesome. We've caught our trucks though. That truck sitting up there is full. The cart is not quite full, but close. So, I don't know. I have a feeling we might be done for the night. We'll see. I'm sure he's loving those tile lines right about now. We're full again, and this truck's going to be full after we make this round. We'll be able to make probably 2 more. We'll see. Our trucks are full. We're all caught up. We're going to run a truck back to the farm real quick and swap out, just to help Phil get caught up. I got 3 more rounds out here, and then we've got that whole block done, so I want to try and finish that tonight. Well, we're on the last pass here. I'm on the last piece of that block. We've got both sides of it done. I'm not sure what happened here, but we ran into a strip right in the middle that's just not very good, and I don't really know why. You know, some of it's good. Right here it's good. Right here it's really good, and then it drops to 180, and I haven't figured out what happened here yet. But anyway, we're gonna have almost 70 acres for the day. That's pretty darn good. That is about half of this field. We're probably going to leave the rest of it for right now, though. I want to do my plot tomorrow and work around home a little bit more, and then we'll probably get back to beans after that. So honestly, I don't know when we'll be back here to finish this field. Doesn't really matter. This stuff is standing really well. Everything that got sprayed with, with the fungicide looks like it's going to be good and stand and be okay, so we can wait for another week or 2 while we get some beans out of the ground. Weather still looks fantastic for the week, and we got to get beans while we can. So that's my assumption, is we'll give it tomorrow or most of tomorrow to dry out a little bit more, and then start getting some of these beans run, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we can get the rest of the wheat planted by the end of the week, or well, maybe not by the end of the week, but in the next week to week and a half we should get all the wheat in the ground. Things are good. You're next, corn. You're next. Focus. All right. Well, for doing 70 acres, almost 14,000 bushels, almost 70 acres. Yeah, we had a good day. Look, it's that September snowfall again. It's starting to blanket everything. Turning our driveways red. Got drifts. Oh yeah, fun. Well, the dryer seems to have run good all day since the last time we were here. Putting 1,245 bushel an hour out now. It was over 1,600 for a while, but we're into some wetter corn. There's only one light showing on our wet bin, which means we don't have that much wet corn around, so that's good. It's doing a really good job. My poor truck. Oh, it's getting snowed on. All right, we are done for the day. Brock, YouTube wants video footage. What do you got?
Didn't crash anything.
He didn't crash anything. We had a challenging day, didn't we, Brock?
Learned a lot of things. We'll put it that way.
Brock's trying to learn how to drive a truck. He got yelled at for not driving a grain cart right, because apparently auto steer is a necessity for Brock.
Yeah.
Nah, he's fine. It's just, there's a learning curve to all of it, so we'll get there. Anyway, we did okay today. So the dryers, we're going to shut it off. There's not a lot of wet corn out there, and we'll get going tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be a little bit slow with doing that corn plot. We'll be good to get it out of the way, though, get some good data off of that, and then we'll see whether we get back into corn or keep doing corn or we get back into beans. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. Night, everybody.
See ya.